In a world where every step of monarchs is meticulously planned and predictable, one love story stands out for its remarkable unpredictability and strength of character. She was an aristocrat, full of life and freedom. He was a prince, doomed to live in the gilded cage of royal duties. Their meeting seemed inevitable, their union desirable to many. But she said no to him twice. In 1923, Britain rejoiced. The Duke of York, the future King George Sidney, finally announced his engagement to Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon. This news was met with enthusiasm, as Elizabeth, with her infectious smile and cheerful nature, had already won the hearts of many. No one knew the long and difficult battle Prince Albert, as he was then known, had to wage to win her consent. Unlike many who aspired to join the royal family, Lady Elizabeth desperately did not want to lose her freedom, fully understanding the price she would have to pay for the crown. Her childhood was spent in ancient castles and estates, filled with laughter, games, and love. She grew up without the rigid frameworks and protocols inherent to the royal court. Elizabeth valued her independence above all else and was horrified at the thought of a life where her every step and word would be under the public scrutiny. So when Prince Albert, madly in love, proposed to her for the first time, she refused. And then, after some time, when he gathered his courage and tried again, she said no once more. This double refusal was unprecedented. Refusing to marry a member of the royal family was unthinkable for most girls of that time. But Elizabeth was different. She knew what she wanted and what she did not. She saw how the lives of her friends who married into the aristocracy changed under the weight of rules and expectations. She did not want that fate. Prince Albert, a shy man who suffered from a severe stutter, could have given up. He could have found a more compliant bride, ready to say yes without hesitation. But his feelings for Elizabeth were so strong that he could not simply retreat. He understood her fears, but believed that their love could overcome any difficulties. The story of their courtship is one of persistence, patience, and deep love. Prince Albert did not pressure Elizabeth or try to break her will. Instead, he surrounded her with care and attention, trying to show that life by his side would not mean a complete loss of self. He showed her the world not only through the prism of royal duties, but also through simple joys of life and moments of solitude, which Elizabeth so cherished. He spoke to her a lot and patiently, dispelling her fears and concerns, assuring her that their family would be built on mutual understanding and respect for her personal freedom as much as possible in their position. He showed her that even within the framework of royal protocol, there was room for individuality and happiness. Prince Albert's third proposal was decisive. By this time, Elizabeth had seen the sincerity and depth of his feelings. She saw that he was not just an ardent admirer, but a man willing to compromise for their shared future. She realized that her love for him had become stronger than her fear of the unknown and limitations. It was a decision made with her heart, but with full awareness of all the consequences. And so, on January 10, 1923, the world learned of the engagement of the Duke of York and Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon. For many, this was a happy ending to a romantic story. For Elizabeth herself, it was the beginning of a new chapter in life, full of grandeur, but also enormous responsibility. She knew the path would not be easy, but with Albert by her side, she felt the strength and support needed to overcome any difficulties. Their story is not just a fairy tale about a prince and a princess. It is a story of two people who found each other despite social barriers and personal doubts. A story of how love can change even the most established notions of duty and destiny. Elizabeth did not seek a crown. She sought happiness and took a risk to find it with the man she loved. Of course, they could not know that the future held far greater trials for them than simply reconciling with royal status. No one could foresee the abdication of Edward the Heir and the sudden ascension to the throne of the shy Albert, who would become King George VI. But their decision to marry, despite Elizabeth's fears, laid the foundation for a strong family and a solid partnership that would prove vital in the years to come, especially during World War II. Elizabeth's choice to twice refuse a future king became a symbol of her strong character and independent spirit. It showed that even in a world where social position dictates the rules, one can and should fight for the right to choose and to be happy. Her story became an inspiration to many, proving that true love can overcome any obstacles. Her story became an inspiration to many, proving that true love can overcome any obstacles. Their wedding, held on April 26, 1923 at Westminster Abbey, became a national event. It was not just a lavish ceremony, but also a sincere expression of joy and hope from the British people. The young Duke and Duchess of York embodied a fresh breeze of change, a promise of stability and family values in the turbulent post-war world. Lady Elizabeth did not just join the royal family. She brought her spontaneity, warmth, and sincerity to it. She did not try to emulate other members of the royal family, remaining true to herself. Her sense of humor, tact, and ability to connect with a wide range of people quickly made her a public favorite. She became not just a duchess, but also a close figure to many subjects, a symbol of resilience and kindness. Their family life, despite its publicity, was built on deep trust and understanding. They had two daughters, Princesses Elizabeth and Margaret. Albert proved to be a loving father, dedicating much time to his children, and the Duchess was a devoted mother and wife. They created a warm and secure family environment, which became their haven away from the pressures of royal life. Elizabeth supported Albert in everything, helping him cope with his shyness and speech problems that troubled him throughout his life. She became his support and inspiration. Their journey together was not just strewn with roses. Life in the royal family involved constant public attention, strict protocol, and the fulfillment of numerous duties. For Elizabeth, with her natural independence, it was sometimes difficult to adapt to these constraints. But her love for Albert and her awareness of the importance of their role helped her overcome difficulties. She learned to balance between personal life and public duties, remaining sincere and open. This engagement story, which became the starting point of their life together, shows us that even in conditions where choice seems limited, a person always has the opportunity to make a decision based on their own feelings and values. Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon was not afraid to say no twice to a member of the royal family because she valued her freedom. The sincerity of Prince Albert's feelings and his willingness to understand and accept her fears were the key to her eventually saying yes. It is this story, full of personal experiences and difficult decisions, that makes their path to the altar so significant. It is not just about a royal wedding, but about finding one's place in life, the courage to be oneself, and the power of love that can change even the most predestined fates. Their life together, which began with a refusal and subsequent consent, became the foundation for future events that forever changed not only their lives, but also the history of Great Britain. What events are we talking about? Let us recall the end of 1936. The abdication of Edward VIII, Albert's elder brother, shook the usual order of the royal family and the entire country. And it was at this moment, when it seemed that the monarchy was facing a serious test, that the Duke and Duchess of York came to the fore. Despite their natural modesty and reluctance to be in the spotlight, they accepted this responsibility. Albert became King George VI, and his faithful Elizabeth became the Queen. The difficult task of restoring the people's trust in the monarchy after the crisis caused by the abdication fell on the shoulders of this couple, and they handled it brilliantly. King George VI, despite his stutter and lack of self-confidence, proved to be a strong and responsible ruler, especially during the difficult years of World War II. And Queen Elizabeth became not just a comfort and support to him, but also an active participant in public life, boosting the nation's morale with her example of courage and resilience. It was during these years, when the country was going through the most severe trials, that the British people came to love their queen with all their hearts. She did not hide behind the palace walls, but shared with her subjects their sorrows and deprivations. Her visits to the bomb-damaged areas of London, her steadfastness in the face of danger, her unchanging smile and kindness, all this made her a symbol of the indomitable British spirit. Thus, the story of the engagement of the Duke of York and Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon is not just a romantic prehistory of a royal couple. It is an important part of their life journey that shaped them as individuals and as future monarchs. Elizabeth's refusal and then consent, her desire to preserve her freedom, her sincerity and loyalty to her principles. All these qualities later helped her become one of the most beloved and respected queens in British history, and her husband a worthy ruler in difficult times. Their story is a testament that even in a world governed by duty and tradition, there is room for personal choice and true feelings. It is a reminder that the courage to be oneself and loyalty to one's principles can lead to the most unexpected and significant results.